All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. Today, Monday, February 13th, 2017, we did three things in class. The first thing we did was we did four more program examples based off of that payroll program that we were working on. All right, after that, we took a break. Then we did a couple programs from Chapter 7, and we took another break. Then we did a couple programs from Chapter 8. Well, unbeknownst to me, I do have the lecture from the payroll stuff that we did at the beginning of class, and I sent all that to everybody in the class. All right. And I have the stuff from Chapter 8, but somehow I lost the stuff for Chapter 7. So your assignment that is due by a week from Wednesday is shown right here. Make it nice and big. Maybe that's a little too big. There we go. All right. From Chapter 7, numbers 4, 5, 6, and 8, and we did numbers 5 and 8 as a class. For Chapter 8, numbers 5, 6, 7, and 10, and we did 5 and 6 as a class. So, for Chapter 7, again, it was 4, 5, 6, and 8. So 4, which we did not do in class, create an application named Convert Quartz Deleters that does just that. Number 5, which I'm going to do in front of you in just a minute, called Fortune Teller. Number 6, which is this multiplication problem, which I'm not going to do for you. And it's very similar to one of the two test problems. And number 8, which is this count vowels modularized. Then from Chapter 8, we did, as a class, number 5, this bonus calculation. We did number 6 as a class, input method demo 2. And I assigned for you number 7, write a program named averages that includes a method that accepts any number of numeric parameters, displays them, and displays their average. Well, that will involve the use of a param array. And the last one you have to do is number 10, which is this thing about movies. All right? So what I want to do is I want to fairly quickly go back and do the problems that I had done and now have somehow misplaced. All right. So the first one is this fortune teller. So I'm going to do, as it says, I will do that one first. And then we will do the one that's vowel modularized or whatever the heck it's called. Okay? All right. Now, one thing, I'm going to change this around a little from the way I did it in class. I'm just going to Google things a fortune teller would say. There you go. All right. Fortune teller predictions. All right. And what I'll do is I'll just go right in the middle here and I'm going to grab 6 of them. 3, 4, 5, 6. Copy that to the clipboard. And I'm going to start up Visual Studio. I already have. So I'm going to start up a new project. And I've already got one, a console called Fortune Teller. So I'm going to call this Fortune Teller 2. Because I already have one called Fortune Teller. All right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to come back here and I want to grab the comments that were in the book. So I want to grab all of this. Copy it to the clipboard. And then I want to put that at the top of my file. Paste that in. All right. So create a program named Fortune Teller whose main method contains an array of at least 6 fortune teller phrases, such as I see a tall, dark stranger in your future. The program randomly selects 2 different fortunes and passes them to a method that displays them. So that's what we're going to do. All right, I need my using static system.console. All right. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to create my array. So declare and initialize fortunes array. So string bracket bracket fortunes equals, and I'm going to just put all that on the next line. So here's my beginning curly, there's my ending curly. In fact, that's fine. And I'm going to paste these in. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I want to go back again to where I was here, and I want to grab those fortunes, copy, and I'm going to paste them in. All right, and that's fine. I'll pretty them up in just a second. In fact, I'll do that right now. So there they are. Since they are strings, they'll need to be inside of double quotes, and they will need a comma at the end of each one. And I want double quotes, not a single quote there. You can see as I'm prettying this up, the errors associated with it are all going away. I was getting all these because they were not inside of double quotes. So this should be the last one. Oops. All right, and I need a semicolon at the end because that is the end of me creating my my variable, my string array variable. So those are my 6 different fortunes. And somehow I got smatter there. I don't know if that was in there or I goofed it up. All right. Now I want to seed the random number generator. Random rand equals new random. You've seen that before. And then I'm going to create 2 different random numbers. Int random1 equals rand.next. And it's got to be a number between 0 and 5, so we put 0, 6 here. And int random2, and it's the same thing. So random 1 and random 2 are both going to hold numbers between 0 and 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So they're representing the different fortunes that I just showed you. All right. Now, what we're told in here, so create a program named Fortune Teller, did it. Whose main method contains an array of at least 6 strings with fortune teller phrases, did it. The program randomly selects 2 different fortunes, did it. Passes them to a method that displays them, didn't do that yet. So, call method to display chosen fortunes. So I'm going to call display fortunes. I'm going to get an error because I haven't written that yet. And I'm going to pass to that fortunes random 1 and fortunes random 2. All right, now I've got to copy all that. Display the 2 fortunes associated with the generated random numbers above. So I need static void and this has got to say this was a string and this was a string. And they're just strings, so I can call them R1 and R2. I can call them anything I want, but this will suffice. All right? R2. Why are we getting here? There we go. All right, and then all we need are two right line statements. Your first fortune is, followed by R1, and another right line, your second fortune is, and we'll put in R2. And then we need our old read line. All right, we should be done. So let's run it and see what it looks like. There's our first fortune. There's our second fortune. Now I want to do something I did not do in class. And that is, I want to take what's in main here and I want to put it, let's see, let's grab this random rand. So let's seed the rand. Let's do that at the top of the program. So let's do that even before we create our array there. All right, doesn't change anything, but I'm going to do this. While 1 equal 1, I'm just going to cheese out a little bit here and do it like that. So while 1 equal 1, I'm going to do here int random 1, I'm going to set that equal to 0, int random 2, and I'm going to set that equal to 0, and now I'm just going to have all right. So I'm just going to keep generating these over and over again. Now I've got while 1 equal 1, so that's kind of stupid because I think it's just going to keep going. So let's do this. Let's, as we've done before in the past, let's make a Boolean variable. Lost my notes. Let's make a Boolean variable. We'll call it again, and we'll set that equal to true, meaning that we want to run the program again and again and again. All right. Then we'll put a string in here. We'll call it just Q for question. No, we'll call it prompt for prompt equal. We'll set that to the empty string. And then we'll have a character, a char, that we'll call first char, and we'll set that equal to just a blank space. Let's put some comments in here that might make it a little easier to understand exactly what's going on. All right, so this, again, grab that comment that we put up here. Seed the random number generator, so that's the first thing. This will be our first random number. This will be our second random number. This will be our, for lack of better words, our sentinel value. This will be our program continue prompt. And this will be the uppercased first character of the program continue prompt. All right, so we've got all that. Now, instead of saying while 1 equal 1, I want to say here while again. Remember, that is a shortcut. That also is the same thing as saying while again equal true. All right, so generate 2 random numbers. Oops. Each number between 0 and 5. All right. Call method to display. Now we want to say prompt. Did we set the prompt before? All right. Let's put a read line, or I'm sorry, a write line in here. Ask user if she or he wants to run program again. So I want to do here, that'll be on the next line, I want a write statement. Do you want to run the program again? Yes or no? All right. And the prompt will be equal to read line. Okay, then we want to take that prompt and we want to uppercase it. So prompt equal prompt dot to upper. So we're going to uppercase it. And then that first character, which we called first char, first char equal prompt 0, which means gives us the first character. If first char if it's not equal to a y, again equal false. Okay, that should be everything. Let's run it and then come back and take a look at it. In fact, one more thing. When we print these out, every time we do this, let's clear the console. All right, it's probably about as nice as I can make it look here. So there's our fortunes. Do you want to run the program again? Yes. There's our next fortunes. Do you want to run the program again? Sure, one more time. Now you notice that there's a chance at least we'll get the same fortune twice. That's not a problem. Do I want to run it again? No. So let's take one last look at this entire program. This is different than what I did in class because we have the ability to run this program again and again and again because we put it into a loop. So in main, we seed our random number generator. These will be our 2 random numbers that we create. Those 2 random numbers, 0 through 5, if it's a 0, it'll be that fortune. If it's a 1, it'll be that fortune. If it's a 2, it'll be that fortune. If it's a 3, it'll be that fortune. If it's a 4, it'll be that fortune. And if it's a 5, it'll be that fortune. Okay? Then we've got bool again, that's our sentinel value. So while again, so while we want to keep going, and since it's true to begin with, we'll go through it at least once. This is going to be the prompt where we ask the user, do you want to run the program again? After we do that, we'll uppercase it, and then we'll grab the first character of that, which is first char, and if that first char is a Y, we'll run the program again. So here is our array of our 6 fortunes. And again, I just pulled them off that website. In class, we did something different, but this is fine. Remember to put your semicolon at the end because this is a variable declaration. All right. And then while again, so in other words, while we want to keep going here, and we do, all right, generate 2 random numbers between 0 and 5. So that's what we're doing in lines 45 and 46. Now that we have those 2 numbers, we can go into the fortunes array and use that, pass in both of those particular numbers for 1 and for 2. That'll bring us in here. We'll clear the console. We'll write the first one that we entered. We'll write the second one that we entered. We'll do a read line. That'll pop us back up here where it'll say, do you want to run the program again? In fact, looking at this now, \n, we don't really even need this read line. So, there we go. There's your first fortune, your second fortune. Do you want to run it again? Sure. First and second. Okay. Eventually, no. So again, main, there's our variables. So I like to put some declare and initialize program variables. There they are. Plus I've got a little comment there explaining what each variable means. Declare and initialize the fortunes array. So that's what's in here. That's yet another variable. All right. Set up loop condition. And remember, while again, which means while again equal true. When we first set this up, we did set again equal to true. So we'll definitely go into this the first time, which means we'll generate 1 random number. We'll generate another random number. Those numbers, the 0 through 5, represent one of these 6 fortunes. And we'll pass those 2 associated fortunes to our method called display fortunes, which will come in here, clear the console, and write those 2 out. Hitting the ending curly, it'll return, which will have it come back in here and ask the user if they want to run the program again. They'll put in something, hopefully, and then we will take whatever they put in, convert it to uppercase, check just the first character. If the first character is not a Y, we're done. If it is a Y, we'll go back and do it again. It's pretty much all I can say regarding this first program. All right, let's take a look at the second program. Again, I have to admit, I have my cheat sheet from when I did this in class. So none of these programs are particularly long. Okay, so I'm going to save this, file, close solution. And this is count vowels modularized. No longer need this. But I do want to come in here and grab there it is. Write a program named count vowels modularized that passes a string to a method and returns the number of vowels in the string. So let's come in here, start up a new program. Again, I'm making these consoles, and this one, since I already have one called count vowels modularized, this will be count vowels modularized, 2. All right. We'll do the same thing that we did before, and what I mean is we'll come in here and we will write it, get it to work, and then we'll put it into a loop so we can run it multiple times. So we've got our program. It passes a string to a method that returns the number of vowels that are in that string. Okay? So let's come down to main. String input str equals the empty string, and that will be the inputted string. Int num vowels, we'll set that equal to 0. And that will be the number of vowels in input str. All right. So let's put a right here that says, please enter a string. All right. And then input str will be equal to readline. Now, num vowels, which is the number of vowels, is going to be equal to a routine we haven't written yet that's going to be called vowel count. And we're going to pass the string into that. So let me quickly put this in here. So that'll be a static void vowel count. And it'll have a string in there. And it's an input string, so let's just call it str. All right. Oh, that's got to return an int. That's going to be the number of vowels. Okay, now once we have that, all we want to do is put a right line in here that says the string has and we need a read line afterwards. And that's it. Now, we're getting that error right now because we haven't returned anything yet. So, in here, we want the number of vowels, so we'll put NV for number of vowels. We'll set that equal to 0. We could have passed that in too. A lot of ways that this could be written. We want to take the string that we put in. This is the way I did it. You didn't have to do it this way. But I said string upper equals the string that we passed in, str.to upper. All right. Int upper len equals upper dot length. So let's put some comments here, so hopefully that'll make a little bit more sense. All right. This is the number of vowels. This is our passed in string, uppercase, and this is the length. Of passed in string, uppercase. All right. Now I've got to go into a for loop and I've got to go through this whole thing. Now, just so I can get rid of this error that we've got here, I'm going to return NV for the number of vowels. Now that went away. Good. All right. Now for int LCV, our loop control variable, equals 0, and while it's less than upper len plus LCV. So we have to come in here and we have to check now. If upper LCV, if it's equal to A, or so if it's equal to A, or it's equal to E, or it's equal, so we got AE, we need I, or O, or U, and I've just considered all Y's to be vowels also, or Y. So that's saying I'm checking each character, and if that character is an A, E, I, O, U, or a Y, then number of vowels plus plus. That's the whole program. Let's try it, and then we'll come back and we'll revise it so that it can run multiple times. So let's save, run it. Let's put in something simple to start. Please enter a string. Hello world. I don't have a read line, I don't think, in here, so it has 3 vowels in it. 1, 2, 3. Well, that looks good. So I'm going to go back to my previous program and I'm going to steal a bunch of the code. So I'm going to steal that again, and the first char and all that other stuff. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to drop that right into here. There it is. All right, so we've got all that. Then we want to come in and while again. So we want to do that here. And we've got to move all of this stuff over. All right. And then finally, we have to come back in here at the end and ask the user if they want to run the program again, exactly as we did it before. All right. All right, do you want to read it again, etc.? Please enter a string. Why don't we do a console.clear here. Let's save it and try it and see what it looks like. Please enter a string. How are you today? It says it has 9 vowels in it. Well, let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks to me like that I'm off by 1. Why would I be off by 1? Vowels is 0. Return number of vowels. Has number of vowels in it. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. It does have 9 in it. Okay. Do I want to run the program again? Yes. Now is the time for all good people to come to the aid of their party. Before I hit enter, let's see if we can figure out ourselves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, should be 24 if I counted right. And it looks like I did. Okay, so I can keep going, but I think that's enough that it shows it. So let's look at this entire program, and then we'll be finished with this lecture. So, as always, declare and, not delcare, declare and initialize program variables. So we've got our input string, we've got our number of vowels, we've got our loop control, our sentinel value, I should say, we've got our prompt, and we've got our first character. Okay? All right. Put program in loop. So while again, which again is the same thing, this really doesn't need anything, but okay, clear the console. All right. Prompt for and input string to be checked for the number of vowels. Okay, so we've done that. Call method to actually calculate number of vowels in the string. All right. Write out the number of vowels found in the associated string. All right, ask the user if they want to run the program again. Boom. Uppercase user response, which is right there. Grab first character of user response. Unless first character was a Y, stop the program, run now. All right, and this method to count number of vowels in the input string. In this case, we're calling it str. All right, there's our number of vowels. There's our passed in string in uppercase, and that's the length of it. All right. Loop through the string one character at a time. If the character is an uppercase, because it's all been set to uppercase, vowel, A, E, I, O, or U, increment the number of vowels accumulator. And then finally, return the number of vowels accumulator. That's pretty much commented up the wazoo. So let's take one last look at it. In main, all right, we have an input string called input str. We've got our number of vowels called num vowels. We've got our sentinel value called again. As long as it's true, we're going to run the program again. We've got our prompt, which is going to be asking our user whether or not they want to continue. All right, that's the answer that they give when we ask if they want to continue. And we've got the first character of that, which we're going to uppercase the first character of prompt. So uppercase the first character of prompt. Oops. There. We put the program into a loop. Clear the console. We prompt for the input string to be checked. We call the method to actually calculate the number of vowels. That's going to return that into num vowels. Then we print out the number of vowels found in the string. So we print out the string. Write out, let's see, the inputted string, the number of vowels in the string, the number of vowels that were found in the associated string. All right, then we ask the user exactly like we did it in the last program if they want to run the program again. Okay, and that's right here. Then in our method, we've got NV for number of vowels. We've got the string that we passed in, that was str, and we put it in uppercase. Then we also get the length of the string. Then we loop through, as it says, the string one character at a time, checking to see if that character is an uppercase A, E, I, O. I should change that. U or Y. And if it is one of those, we increment the number of vowels accumulator. If it's any of those, make sure you use an or here, not an and. And when we're all done, we return the number of vowels, which we come back in here. We print that out, and then we ask the user if they want to run it again. So that's everything. Last time now, to mention to you that so again, the homework we just went over now two of these, I guess 5 and 8. And in class, in one of the other lectures, we went over 5 and 6. I still want you to turn in all 4 of these, even the ones we did in class, and all 4 of these. You have until Wednesday, the 22nd. Tomorrow in class will be lab all day, so you can catch up with this stuff. Wednesday will be the hands-on test for Chapter 7 and 8. Thursday, we will begin our work on Chapter 9, so we're going to get into object orientation. And Friday, we will go through an example of object orientation. Remember, there is no class 1 week from today on the 20th. School is closed for President's Day. That's all I've got.